They made an excellent move. And if you want to look back at the former DOJ that came after parents, that came after our organization, they actually used the Patriot Act to put out a threat tag at parents that were showing up at school board meetings. They directed the FBI, the former DOJ, they directed the FBI to call our moms after they spoke at school board meetings to investigate them and to interrogate them. The things that went on under the Biden administration, I don't think America understands what happened. And so
that is Moms for Liberty's Tina Deskovich. Not only the Biden administration go after him, but also the Southern Poverty Law Center decided that Moms for Liberty was racist. Like, I guess moms baking, maybe it might have been that cookies for the KKK event they did. I'm not, Michael Charbonne. They called the Moms for Liberty racist. You know, I mean, honestly, and Jake Tapper never said, I don't know, maybe they're not racist because they're Moms for Liberty.
Yeah, but you know what the funny thing is that everybody who saw that and watched that thought it was ridiculous except Democrats, who ate it up like prejudged pablum. And everybody else is looking at that and saying they're defending their kids and they're talking about their education and they're being called racist. I mean, that's where the word got so diluted and everybody throwed it out. I mean, if you said to someone, no, you can't have a job because you're unqualified, you're racist. I mean, enough.
Yeah, and I'm glad. And I said 30 years ago, I said eventually these false cries of racism are going to be like crying wolf. And I think we are there. And I hope and pray to God that Southern Poverty Law Center is sued into. They become the Poverty Law Center. They just become poor and they go out of business.
Canadians Black Lives Matter, Rob. Don't you think Black Lives Matter and the Southern Poverty? Because they should join each other. Because both those organizations were so skilled in raising millions and millions of dollars. And once my dad always said, once you scratch the paint of a used car and you see rust underneath, you know that it's really rotten underneath. And here are these two things that the Democrats held up in a chalice of, oh my God, now look at where they are.
And the Southern Poverty Law Center was held together by Bondo. So there's that. So fixed up a car like we did in high school. You know what I'm talking about. Canadians are afraid to go to of America because you feel that we are dangerous and unpredictable because of Donald Trump. Really?
Well, I got to tell you, there are some Canadians, about 60 to 70% of Canadians who have been polled, fear America because they think it's unpredictable. I think what the problem is now, because of our renewed border entry and exit, everybody has to have their scan of their fingerprints and their picture, etc. Some people are afraid of that. Canadians are afraid. But I'm going to tell you, those of us who travel to America for business and for pleasure to Florida, we're not afraid. What we're really afraid of is $1.37 Canadian for $1 American. That's what we're afraid of, dude. That's what think of that. Almost 40%. That's a lot of money, Rob.
Your currency is plummeting. Our currency isn't worth much. It's gone down 80% since like 1970. But you guys are $1.37 to $1 American. That is rough, man.
Well, think of just average things. Just a dinner at Denny's is 37%. Call it 40% for just whatever. 40% more. And that isn't even before we tip. And I mean, Canadians are unfortunately bad tippers, I got to say. It's being raised in a canoe, as they say. We always don't want to tip. But the point is, you look at 40% increase. I mean, that's very much a hit right in the gut. It used to be we could go to America and we would go to the dollar store in America or Dollar Tree and go, oh my God, this stuff is so cheap. It's fantastic. Not anymore, guy. I mean,
so wait a minute. You go to Dollar General up there and it's 37 cents cheaper.
You would hang that brooch on me, wouldn't you?
Holy smokes, it's Dollar General's $1.37 down there.
Yeah, how many things in a Dollar General are dollar anymore? They're all $2.50, $3. It's still cheaper though. But
you ever been to Five Below? I mean, I'm not talking about the temperature in June in Canada.
Five Below?
You never heard of Five Below?
This sounds like a speakeasy, Rob, that you go to on weekends. Five Below.
No, Five Below it's actually, I love the store. My daughter and I go there all the time. And it's the typical fare you'd see in a dollar store, except for it's $5 and below. So it's a little bit more upscale if you consider.
Upscale.
Well,
Do you have to dress?
compared to dollar, yes, you do. No pajama pants and then flip flop. But no, it's $5 and below. You got to try it when you come down here. Of course, if you come down here, it'll be $5.37 and below. No, it'll be 37 times 5, so it'd be like $7 and below down here.
I don't think. Oh my gosh.
I
Well, at
love
least you know what? I got to say one thing about Americans. They do respect Canadian beer because we produce real beer up here that tastes like beer and it's got like alcohol in it, right? Speaking of alcohol, we still don't have any bourbon in Ontario and the majority of the provinces in Canada. It's worth $1 billion to you guys, and folks in Kentucky are getting a bit ticked. You heard about this?
No.
Yeah, so when Donald Trump put the tariffs on us, Rob Ford in Ontario and a bunch of other provincial premiers said, that's it. You want to play tariffs? We can play that game. Drop the puck. So they took all American booze and all California wines off all the shelves. And it's worth $1 billion. Like, that's a serious economic kick in the groin for all intents and purposes. And I really wish we could get all this stuff resolved. I mean, it's being ridiculous what it's costing both sides. What's happening in Canada now is what's going to happen to the United States because we are so intertwined. And I really wish they would just call it off and say, okay, free trade. And what Carney did.
You got to stop being such a fearmonger and a doomsayer. Donald Trump is playing you guys until we get a damned conservative in office up there. In the meantime, get down here with a U-Haul. We'll load it up with some cheap bourbon and head up there and sell it on street corners for $1.37 on the dollar. How's that sound? I think it sounds like a good idea.
The best old-fashioned I ever had was in San Francisco, and it was with real American bourbon. You can't beat it.
Just go old-fashioned means something else, too. Anyway, thank you for being on the show today, Michael Charbon. Where can people find your glorious TV show and online presence?
My online presence, michaelacharbon.com. I'm also on YouTube, and I'm on Newsmax on the John Glasgow Show every week just before 12 noon.
The technical stuff ironed out, but it's a pleasure to have you on. It's great to see you too, my brother. It really is. Thank you so much.
You're a great guy, Rob. Love your show.
All right, and I'm working on that bourbon, bro. We're going to bring some hooch up there. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.